The video you are about to see is if you are in desperate straits with your filter. This is not a daily, weekly maintenance video. This is if your Dyson humidifier or air filter, because they are similar, is in a horrible state and has not been maintained for years and you're about ready to throw it away or there's a problem with it. Do not attempt this if it's in perfect working condition and is only slightly dirty. We will make a separate maintenance video for that. Welcome to the A10 deconstruction video. We're gonna take the Dyson A10 humidifier, break it down, pull out its guts, and clean out its insides. And it's gonna be pretty gross.
Isn't the A10 also like that warthog, like fighter jet thing that comes in on Warzone? Is that?
Oh yes, it is. You're right.
We're not cleaning that today. We're going to be doing
Dyson A10 humidifier, deconstruction and cleaning.
Welcome to Tech Fireside. We're co-hosting this today. This is my brother, Jason. If you can see the steam coming out of our breath right now, that is because it is really
freezing out here. We will deconstruct out here and then take it inside for cleaning. I've had the privilege of breaking down one of these A10s already, and we have reconstructed one, so there's a reconstruction video. Don't worry about it. If you're taking this thing apart, we will guide you on how to reconstruct this. As I've had the privilege to look at the last messy, dirty one, Brian's gonna take a look here and see what it can look like if you don't maintain these for 2 to 3 years.
I can tell you right now, as the breeze has been coming in, I can smell it.
It's been in multiple basements and moves. It has not been taken care of the way that it should.
All right, let's do this. Tech Fireside reacts to disgusting filter parts.
Well, I never in all my life.
This actually isn't too bad. This, on the other hand, I can see from here. Oh. Okay, let's get some. Look at that. That's like mildew stains, that reddish stuff, and then the yellow. I don't even want to know what the yellow stuff is.
All this channel is where the humidified air would be going.
See all that calcium buildup? That's definitely hard water, calcium, etc.
Nasty.
Here's the tank. Got a bunch of junk in there.
This is actually a little bit from putting oils in this. You can't put that stuff in there, otherwise it'll. Certain humidifiers allow you to put like diffusing oils.
Yeah.
This one does not work as well. Like it sticks in the tank inside here.
So not a diffuser. Let's see, we got, ooh. Yeah, that's pretty nasty right there. Look at that. And keep in mind, you have water and air running through this that then you are then breathing.
Yep.
Which I think defeats the purpose of having nice humidified air. Take a look at that. Yeah, that's nasty. Oh man, look at all this too.
So you get some major kind of more mildewy water. This is where kind of water can stick if you're not properly doing the maintenance.
Yeah.
And we will do some weekly and monthly maintenance kind of upgrade videos so you can properly do that, but you can let this dry so that on a weekly, monthly basis gets a little bit more clean.
Yeah, so definitely need to clean out that fan in there, it looks like, and man, all of that looks really nasty.
Okay, so these parts, since they're already broken down, right, we don't have to worry about these. We'll take all these in with us to the cleaning. So I'll start putting this stuff there in this bucket. Bucket left over from the restaurant days. Okay, so we got to take off. Well, we can start with the bottom, actually. If you want to do that part. Okay. That's kind of a fun one.
Let's see. Oh, there's a screw there.
And this one's going to be
head.
Phillips head right here on that one. So for the
Oh,
first
is that?
one.
Oh, yeah, I guess it is. It's got a weird look to the screw. It looked like it was a hex bit or something like
All
that.
of these other ones will be.
Yeah, so this is what they normally want you to take apart for maintenance and cleaning, it looks like. There we go. So look inside there.
Yeah, this has access to the light for replacement.
Yeah,
and
the
the
UV.
piezo that does the humidifying.
Yeah.
So we'll take both of these out.
How did you get this in there for these deep screws?
Extension.
Oh, okay. Yep.
T10 had to cut.
Yep, it's a T10.
So T10 for all these screws that we're pulling out here. These are really deep holes to get the screw out of, so you got to have just an extension there in order to get the head in there. And that...
Wow, that just barely...
Yeah, just barely fits.
You know what? I'm gonna tell you right now too, anybody doing this, Be extremely careful you don't strip these screws.
Yes.
I can already feel that if you're too gung-ho on this, you are gonna regret things.
They've already moved on to a new model, which includes a air filter and humidifier combo. So you will appreciate this more as you deconstruct and reconstruct this. And then we will actually purchase and review one of those humidifier air filter combos, so that you can see too if that's something you'd be interested in after you've gone through the process of doing this heavy cleaning on the A10. But this was several $100s when this first started, so it's worth keeping, like holding on to these. They work really well.
I had to punch through the sticker on this one.
Yes.
So just keep that in mind. There was also kind of an indentation here, but I noticed that it didn't line up with the other 3 holes. So that is not a screw there, but this was, and this was.
Yes, you were smarter than me because I punched a hole in that thing and that was another screw.
I thought it was at first because I did see the indentation, but it wasn't. So
you saw the pattern, I did not. You're like a beautiful mind, you saw the mathematical pattern before.
that's what I did.
So we broke through this. My initial reaction, being an uneducated person on these subjects, was, well, this is gonna void the warranty. But Brian corrected me, and what was your thoughts on that?
As far as I understand, I know most consumer electronics in the US now, that is no longer legal. Yeah, some of that right to repair legislation did go through on that, and they can't do that anymore. You do have the right to open your own equipment and at least look at it. Now, if they find that you've damaged something, you probably still can't get it repaired under warranty, right? Like if there's a water sticker, for example, that's been triggered, that's a whole different thing still. But just opening your device is no longer grounds to terminate your warranty, as far as I understand it. Maybe you should try this and see what you think. I can't get a purchase on it at all.
I think it's because the edge is really close to it. With this being so tight here, I think it's a matter of pushing this screwdriver more towards the edge. It's almost like the screwdriver itself is running into the edge, so it's not lined up correctly. Yep. Did you just hear that?
Yep. You know, I think we said this in the last video, but you'd have better luck buying, I mean, even a cheap one probably from eBay, one of these T10 screwdrivers that's just long and skinny.
Yes.
That would be a better thing to do. We still have yet to do that ourselves, so do as we say, not as we do. But before you take this gray base off, make sure you remove the piezo and the UV light here. Now, if you really want some extra fun during this, make sure you have some young children around that love to wander off with screws. And you can really up the difficulty of this to like hardcore mode. Like seriously, it turns into a great frustrating.
We're gonna take these and put these in Ziploc bags.
Fine, or you could do it that way.
They did survive in a house with 2 children on my kitchen counter for like 2 to 3 weeks, which is an absolute miracle. We'll inventory these as we're looking at them. So these are 2 screws for the piezo, so don't lose those.
There's the screw
one screw for the cap here
in the corner.
Okay, that's your first screw there. There's a single screw there for that.
This is a good thing to go over real quick. Whenever you disassemble something, laptops, anything else, try to keep like screws grouped and try to keep them grouped per stage. So if you removed all the screws on here, right? Try to keep those grouped together in a separate pile and put that pile before the next set that you take out. So then you can kind of just go pile by pile in reverse and put things back together. That will save you so much time and frustration, I can't even tell you. This is the, I'm unplugging this. There's a little security tab there. So press that in and then pull gently. Whenever you see something like this, try to pull as gently as possible. I've done this before myself, where if you yank these too much, it'll pop the pins out. Sometimes it's easy to put them in, other times it's really, really not. Just be gentle, firm but gentle. And then this one, kind of same thing. In fact, this one makes me a little bit more nervous with how wedged in it is. I might want a screwdriver to, I might want a screwdriver for this. What I did here is I pressed down on the tab and kind of pulled out with the screwdriver. Again, don't yank on wires. Don't use them for leverage if at all possible.
It just slips out. that way. Just kind of sits
That didn't
there.
have a screw or anything that you just unplug.
That's the UV light.
And then the piezo is here.
It is just cemented on, so you may just need to give it a good nudge.
Yeah, that's what I'm.
This is a water
There we
seal
go.
because there's water on top of it, right? So
Yeah.
that needs to be cranked
So
down.
I kind of just got the screwdriver and kind of just pried up around the edges. So just be gentle while you're doing that. All right, so now let's see if these screws will come out of their own volition. Knock, knock.
And we're looking for 6.
Yeah, that's not 6. I'm not a rocket scientist, but that is not 6. This feels like it's coming out.
Yes.
Yeah, it is. Okay. Good. So we're gonna see if these screws will come out with it. There we go. Make sure you're over a surface that these won't like ricochet off. Had that happen a million times too, where I'm like shaking a screw loose, hits the table and flies off into who knows where. Probably the same place socks go.
The place where the lost things go.
I can't tell where the 6th one is. This still isn't coming out. Oh, is there another screw?
There's one more screw inside of here.
Oh, okay.
So
Actually, this is a great moment to talk about this, of not forcing things.
yeah. So this will expose one more screw compartment there.
Yeah.
So we'll
So
actually have
if you
7
do
total.
start getting resistance, slow down, figure out why. Because sometimes it is just a plastic clip and you just kind of have to force it out or get something in there. Guitar picks are great tools for that, to just kind of get in there and kind of pry something the other way. But like we just did in this case,
It's clearly
we started slowing down. We're like, oh, hold on here. Yeah, there's clearly something holding it in this side. Let's slow down and make sure we get that. So how many screws is that?
We're still
It's only
missing one
5.
from these, I think.
Yeah, so we'll have to shake that out in a second. I wonder if it's the one. Yeah, so there's 7 total on this stage. Yeah, thank you. All right, so let me get this one. There we go. Gosh, it's so cold.
Yeah. Losing feeling in our hands.
I mean, my wife says my Hawaiian shirts are inappropriate at all times, but especially right now, it feels a little more inappropriate.
I've got my Guayabera on.
Yeah, exactly.
I don't mind.
We're just sitting here.
Our assets are frozen.
It's like 45 degrees.
This is my island in the sun.
Maybe outside. Oh, don't do that.
Okay. Okay, I'm somewhat disappointed in the results here. Like
Oh, is this better than the last
purple,
one?
yes, my other one,
Wow.
this entire area was completely gunked up. So, and that was the older one. So this one is a newer one that I have. And you can see it starting to get more dirty in there. The reason being is the air's coming through here and then going up through the unit to go out, okay?
Yeah.
So this whole area is just a place for it to
Dust trap.
to hold that, yeah.
Yeah.
So, but this one actually has not done too bad. So this is about, I want to say between 1 year and 2 years.
All right, so I did find the missing screw. It's still slightly threaded in this hole, so I'm gonna try to get that out here. Give me just a moment. Oh, that's why. Okay. This plastic hole is slightly stripped. So as I'm trying to unscrew it, it's pushing itself back in. So let's try to poke it out here. There we go. Perfect. Okay.
So 7 total here.
This is exactly the steps you should do it. So take this off first, take this off second with the UV light, and then take off the base third.
Okay, so we'll move on to breaking the top off for that one.
Let's not use the term break. That might not.
breaking the seal off of this gorgeous cheese that has been growing.
Yeah, seriously. There's some, you know what, sorry. There's some plastic clips on this side. So after you undo the screws, you kind of have to manhandle this out just a little bit. Do it away from this side.
And then the clips will come out, yeah.
Yeah, but again, when I say manhandle, gently.
If you're a manly man, tone it down. Just a little bit.
Gently.
All right, so you got that done. There is a wire I can feel here, so just be gentle with that.
Yeah, you won't be able to take all these pieces out. Like this will stay attached. So just, you know, just kind of keep it there close.
How much deeper do we want to go in this time around? Now that you've had experience with taking it apart.
Whole thing, man. That's where the nest, that's where the den of lies and deceit lives.
Okay, we'll keep this.
You don't leave that. You don't leave that there. Oh my goodness. This is all the air blowing into your room. So if you're going to clean this, again, to kind of reclaim, you know, your A10 and keep it for another long, like get inside of this thing and then do good maintenance on it. You know, blowing out the dust more so that this doesn't happen.
Magnetic screwdrivers are friend with things like this, by the way. This one doesn't have a great magnet on it, but it's better than nothing.
It's old. Yeah, there's the 3 for that piece. You can put that with that piece.
Ooh, yummy.
Yep.
Yikes.
That's what I'm
Look
talking
at that.
about. That's what I'm talking about.
Look at that. Oh,
This
that's beautiful.
this is more like the purple one I was seeing.
Again, notice trying to keep parts together with the screws that they belong to. You will thank yourself later for that, and thanking me by liking and subscribing to this video.
Cha-ching.
Perfect plot.
Thank you, Sir Dyson. Isn't he knighted?
That would make sense.
I'm pretty sure he is. I could be wrong. I'm sorry. I don't know if he is or not.
You should be.
Yeah.
I gotta Google this while Brian's breaking.
Yeah, seriously.
I had taken this apart last time, but you can leave that in there. You just have to be, you know, just keep it with the unit, you know.
Yeah.
You will want to scrub down the, you know, that piece inside there.
Spent lost that one. It sounded like it went through. Let's hope. I would really recommend you get a better magnetized screwdriver for this too. Which, by the way, you could get a regular screwdriver, and as long as it's made of a ferrous metal, like I think most steels also are, depending on what they're made of course, but there are some devices where you actually just run it along the screwdriver and it magnetizes it. Okay, so this comes off. Put that to the side. So it looks like this will come out, this rubber stopper. And it looks like this will come out. Again, be careful.
They just use one hand on each
Yeah,
side.
there we go, I got it.
Just a good grip on it.
Here we go.
And then all that inside, again, that's where air's coming through.
I'm gonna do another note here. Cleaning this fan, it's going to be very tempting to use compressed air and just watch this fly and make a fun little buzzing sound. I would recommend not doing that. And the reason I would is a couple reasons. First of all, there are bearings usually in these things, and if it is run a way it's not meant to, sometimes that can ruin the bearings. The other reason is, you know, a fan is very similar to an electric motor. It's just running one way or the other, right? A lot of things have protections in place that if you started spinning this, wouldn't start electrifying controllers and microprocessors in here, stuff like that. But maybe it doesn't. And if that's the case, running this fan could generate enough of a current to possibly fry something. So at least that's what I've heard. Just to avoid all problems, hold your fans in place when you're blowing them out. That's the PSA I'm getting to.
Short intermission. So Dyson was awarded Night Bachelor. Okay.
Ooh, okay.
That is a specific type of knighthood.
Is that a 4-year knighthood? Is that what?
Very knighthood. In 2007. So we're like way old on this. This is not breaking news. The title of
somebody might not know this still.
the title of Knight Bachelor is the basic rank granted to a man who has been knighted by the monarch, but not inducted as a member of one of the organized orders of chivalry. So a peasant knight, I guess. I don't know what that means.
A knight or something. Yeah, like
Yes.
what is that? That's interesting.
But he was knighted, Knight
All
Bachelor.
right, there you go. Okay, so I'm gonna remove kind of this little inner cone thing here. Oh yeah, the gray part's connected to it. Okay. So it does have some springs and some little plastic clips here. I'd just be careful to not ruin those as you're pulling it out. But I think that's it, right? Like that's...
We have broken it down. So yeah, quick review, right? So this is our last piece. Those are meant to be stay detached. You have the one screw with the cover. You have the 2 screws that go with the piezo assembly. You have 7 screws for the bottom that we took off. You have 3 screws that went to this top piece there. 3 screws for this black cover, and then 4 screws for the vortex chamber, whatever you want to call it, right? And then this just pops it out. That's the screws that go with it.
The only other thing I'd ask for is if anybody has some great hypothermia recovery videos, that would be great about now. Because I'm pretty sure I can't feel my hands with feet anymore.
Right? It'll be too late because this won't be posted. We will be dead and gone by then.
Well, there you go. So you can watch this in memoriam.
So we're gonna go now take this inside and clean all the parts in the kitchen. Okay, so we brought all the parts in, put them in the same order so you don't lose track of them all, right? You want to just give the screws like a light rinse or cleaning, but we're not scrubbing those down.
Probably don't need to unless there's...
all these other parts, and more for disinfecting. And I do have some, we'll look at the cleaners here in a minute, but so we'll clean all these off, and then the little fun bag of stuff that we didn't have to unscrew everything, but this needs proper cleaning as well, right? So we're just gonna dive into cleaning. We'll look at some cleaning supplies first so you have those ready. Okay, great. So I would have a nice drying surface ready to go. This is the dirty area. This is the clean area. Do not mix those up because you want them nice and clean and then let them dry, right? So per Brian's suggestion, we're going to kind of set up some soapy water. We're just using dish soap for this. And as hot as water as you can stand because we are kind of disinfecting, cleaning this a little bit. We luckily have this nice huge sink, so all these parts will fit in there.
Yeah, this is gonna be great.
If your kitchen is not as functional as this looks right now, because we spent a bunch of time making it functional for this video, you could go with a tub, go clean it in the tub. You got more space, right? And this is also very dirty stuff too, so if you're kind of don't want that around your food area, then you can go clean in the tub. The same principle, just grab your dish soap, little container, a scrub brush that you don't mind throwing away afterwards.
Yeah.
And then the only other stuff I have is if you're a really clean kind of person, get some bleach. I'm not a bleach kind of person, so I have some kind of equivalent just water mixes with essential oils. So any oil that helps with kind of antifungal or bacterial kind of stuff, right? And we'll give that a spray at the end, so there's kind of a nice, oil film on it that's left over to kill anything for a little while, right? Same thing with bleach. It would be on there for a little bit to kind of keep it as a nice sterilized surface for a while versus just cleaning it off with water, right? And then just going back to state of nature, I guess. So that's really all you need here. And then again, as you clean them, dry them off, put them in that area. So we'll take each one and start cleaning all the parts off. So, okay. And there's kind of most of this will be kind of mildewy filmy kind of stuff that you're seeing with the white, not as much hard water. Just check it after you clean it. If it's more hard water, then you may need a cleaner that is for hard water to get kind of the calcium and things like that off.
White vinegar.
Distilled
White vinegar.
in fact, they sell a cleaning grade that's a little cheaper that I would recommend. It's just not meant to be eaten, is the only difference.
Go to scrub off.
Try to avoid metal contacts and things like that as much as you can. I mean, but scrub them all good. We don't want this to come back. Okay, so this is contact water, so get that one scrubbed down really well. Do you have a little vinegar to put on there? Yeah, because that would be a good one for the hard water. This is the other thing we can use.
Oh yeah.
So this is actually will be featured in the weekly, monthly maintenance videos. This is what Dyson uses for those, I think, for the hard water buildup stuff.
Really?
So I'll go ahead and make up a little bit for this. So yeah, this is a nice fluffy holder for mildew and stuff. Separate that out and clean that.
You know what? Yeah, these filters, a lot of the time, what you can do is run them under water. And then I usually just do a tiny bit. We're talking, when I say tiny, that's probably too much. I mean a tiny bit. And then you do a ball like that, gets the soap throughout all of it. It's gonna take a while to get it completely wrung out. But you do wanna make sure that there's no soap residue in there, or you will have some issues. Specifically, it can end up catching more dirt if there's some residue in there. So just make sure it's completely clean and wrung out.
I just made a little solution with warm water and then a little bit of citric acid. Not a particular ratio, just don't put a ton. And then I just dissolved it in there, and I'm just soaking the bottom there. So if there is any kind of residue mineral there. And again, we'll go in more detail on the monthly and weekly cleaning videos. It's the exact ratio that Dyson recommends when you're soaking the parts that they recommend and doing that more frequently. Okay, so we're about to clean this one. This is with all the sensor electronics. I have already cleaned this where I've rinsed all these off, scrubbed them and all that, and it didn't cause any problems. You can see that in the reconstruction video, everything still works. We do want to just be sensitive about like not submerging things in there.
Yeah.
And once we're done scrubbing it, we're done, right? And then we'll let it dry.
I would let it dry out for like a week or two, just to be like 100% sure.
I like-
This is the part where we're definitely going into territory where you could ruin your device. So again, we're getting to the point where it's like, well, do I throw this away or do I refurbish it? So, you know, when you're at that point, go ahead and take a risk like this, you know, but just know that you may ruin it.
So with this one, for example, just, you know, rinse the whole piece off. Just never rinse directly into like the engine, but you can rinse around it and everything. Totally fine. It'd be nice if you had a buddy at this point to hold this for you, because as I was doing this, this was just sitting in the sinking and a little bit more splashing, all that it didn't need, right?
Yeah.
So you can also protect things by having someone else hold these parts while you're cleaning one of the individual ones, or just, you know, putting this somewhere where it's, you know, sitting and has the reach you need, right?
Yeah.
Is another way to do it, but it's good if you have someone handling this so you're not yanking it off into the sink every 2 seconds. As I was breaking mine apart, I'm like, oh, this is a bunch of hard water and dirt.
Yeah.
You know, it's like, oh, this isn't bad. Started the project about 11 p.m. at night, right? And at the first time it hit the water, I was like, oh, what have I done? And I thought I was just gonna clean some of the other parts off, right? And be like, oh, this is done. No. 3 hours later, deconstructing it, scrubbing it, right? Just as I uncover each one of these pieces, and it was about 5 times worse than this one. It was just solid white, just everywhere inside of this. Okay, and then you will need to give it kind of a rinse and cleaning on the bottom, even though that's where some of the sensitive stuff is too. And then this core, that little black thing kind of holds a bunch of mildew. It's another one of those, but this one's stuck in. You gotta clean it and then just kind of squeegee it out a little bit.
Yeah.
So.
I'm actually going to turn this upside down and squeeze it. So you might be able to see it from this angle. Yeah, I can see it. Good. See that? That'll also let the water escape. There's a lip there that's really holding things in.
And I actually spray that a little bit with the oil solution, or if you have bleach, that's a good one to make sure it's got that in there, because that'll allow it to dry slower without it growing stuff in the meantime.
I'd probably say with a bleach mixture, make sure it's on the weaker side, just to make sure it doesn't eat through your stuff. Same with citrus, same with anything that could break things apart, you know, like make sure it's on the lighter side. Trying to avoid the circuit board.
Bring the whole unit over there and then just feel a little bit more ringing out of that.
You know what I'm actually going to do? I'm going to get a paper towel here.
There you go. Great idea.
I'm going to put that in here and kind of squeeze out the water into the paper towel. Make sure anything with crevices is facing downward to kind of have gravity help you drain it out. If you live in a humid area, you'll probably need to do more with that and make sure it's even drier.
The last big parts. So for the manly men, you can go all out on these ones.
We are men, manly men.
This one you gotta be more sensitive with, but you can really, and these ones you really do want to scrub down. This is getting a lot of the volume and all this stuff, so there'll be a lot more scrubbing here with these. Let's start with the tank, and I would fill this up with just a little bit of soapy water. Let it soak while we're cleaning everything else off.
Oh, that's fun, whatever that is. Yeah.
Oh, and we're done with the piezo. I let that soak, so I'm just gonna rinse that off.
Oh, yeah.
Call that done.
Okay.
This one is gonna be, there's an inside piece that you can't get to all of that, all of that inside, but that's where all of the stuff is stuck as well. So a lot of good rinsing, probably probably running some of the soapy water that you have through it.
I was gonna say, let's use
And
some of
then
this
you can kind of
stuff.
drain it out, but that's gonna be your best technique. And then you can scrub at least the entrances with the scrub brush, but give you a lot of kind of rinsing and spinning around exactly like that to get all of the surfaces.
Yeah, that's what I'm,
So.
Okay, let's take on the last one here. We're just finishing rinsing this out. Okay.
So do you guys just want me to stay here and film it all drying, or?
Yep. Yes.
Okay.
Just a quick thing, don't forget to clean your surfaces where you're keeping all the dirty stuff. So just use your cleaner to get that before you forget. Scrub your hands well too, after you're done too, so.
Yeah.
And none of that, and your sink or tub, right? Like, go through the whole process. Get that all cleaned and scrubbed out, then you're not worrying about that mildew following you into the future. So.
Don't give it a new home.
Yeah, so thanks for joining us for this cleaning of the Dyson A10 and deconstruction. You can look at our reassembly video, step-by-step instructions. We did that over at the workshop. So follow that video to reassemble once this is dry. Let it dry for a long time, as long as you can, 3 to 5 days at least, but like Brian was saying, if you can do it a week, great. That just makes sure that your electronics don't get fried out or whatever.
Yeah, want it as dry as possible afterwards.
And then also look at our weekly and monthly maintenance videos so that you can avoid having to do big cleanup like this. And we will also review the new Dyson that has the air filter and humidifier built in. So if you're considering trying to do an upgrade, maybe you jump to that.
Thank you for being a guest on today, and these will be kind of a fun little side series for cleaning all this stuff. And it'll, again, if your Dyson gets to this point that you're about ready to throw it away, this might be a good thing to try before you do that and see if it fixes things for you. So,
Thanks
have
for
a great
joining
day.
us. Yep, see ya.
Off the bottom, there was just a bunch of.
I'm watching my own video so that I remember how to put this thing back together. This is the second unit that we used on our cleaning video, and now I'm reassembling it. So follow the video. Make sure your screws are in baggies. That helps a lot.